Welcome to This Week in WordPress. I am your host, BJ Keaton, and I'm here for Elegant Themes, the makers of Divi, to talk about everything that happened in WordPress this week. I have tutorials and resources and just news in general that I think that will make your Friday afternoon absolutely fantastic and start your weekend off right. So here we go. Let's get started and talk about it. Thank you guys for joining today. It's a fantastically beautiful Friday afternoon here in Alabama. The weather is great. It's going to get cold again, but man, I'm excited. And this week in WordPress, it has actually been a fairly large week. There's not a lot of just disparate news that's gone on this week, but I'm really excited because of the kinds of stuff that happened, because really the WordPress 4.9 update came out, and that is absolutely huge. We've been waiting for 4.9 for a while. It is the precursor to 5.0 where Gutenberg comes out, whether you like that or not. And so being able to experiment with 4.9 and some of these quality of life changes that it brought is really going to be fantastic. I wanted to bring your attention to a link that is in the show notes here, that's in the description wherever you are. I'm not sure which direction it'll be, so I'm just kind of pointing in general, areas, but it's there in the description where you can see one of our staff writers, one of our writers here at Elegant Themes put together a resource for you to see what all changed. There's also the official notes on the 4.9 update that on WordPress.org as well for the Tipton update here. I did want to kind of break it down and go through just the high level of what 4.9 brought so that you know exactly what you're getting into. Am I quiet, Torin? Let me see. Did that help any? Hopefully that will let you guys hear a little bit better for me there. Trying to always make sure y'all can actually hear me. But before I get into this article, actually, there was a comment on Facebook here by Joan to tell us about Gutenberg and Divi. Right now, as far as I am aware, there shouldn't be any kind of conflicts with Gutenberg and Divi. The way that Divi is written as a plugin and the fact that Gutenberg is not going to totally replace the editors, that we're going to still be able to have the same experience on WordPress that you have right now. It's just that Gutenberg may be the default, that you should not have any kind of issues right now. If there is anything that comes up as we move closer into the release of 5.0 and the official launch of Gutenberg, I guarantee you that I will be talking about it, that everyone will be talking about it. We'll be posting to Facebook groups, doing live streams. We will be having Nick do videos, or Augustine and Nathan, or me, or probably all of us, Donieta, just everybody. Jason, I forgot about Jason. Can't forget about Jason. All of us will probably be letting you know what's going on with Divi and Gutenberg. But as of right now, I would not worry. I would not worry anything at all about it. We've got you covered regardless. Awesome. I'm glad that my sound went up on that one. That's weird that the intro is too high in comparison, because I literally did nothing to change and went back to the same stream, Torin. Super weird. Maybe it's just how close my mic is to my mouth and how loud I'm being. But that said, looking at 4.9, in terms of Gutenberg, they didn't do anything other than add a "Hey guys, Gutenberg is coming out really soon" kind of page. So if you have seen that, don't worry. That does not mean that they've installed Gutenberg on your site, that you have to worry about it at all. They did put in a new customizer workflow, and this is the part that I'm super excited about. I've mentioned it a couple of times on here before with guests, and just kind of rambled about it for a bit, and it's awesome. You can draft and schedule site designs. This is huge, where you don't have to necessarily use a staging site or a local installation, or you can just make sure, honestly, that you schedule it out over the weekend, where you don't have to have have staff or your own time to push it live if you know that everything is going to work smoothly, which, as we all know in the software business, everything works perfectly smooth every time you push a new update live. But that's the kind of idea behind it. You can collaborate with design preview links, so you can work on this and give your coworkers or your users or your clients a preview link to what you're doing before you actually push it live, which is hugely wonderful. That usually you have to use a demo site for this and open up all sorts of ports on a local install. You're not going to have to worry about that anymore. It also lets you protect your work so that if you don't save it before you exit out, which I've done 100 times with the current customizer, that you don't have to worry about that anymore. There's also some coding enhancements, which I'm super excited about, because a lot of people aren't really comfortable using FTP and code editors when they just need to make minor changes. So there's now syntax highlighting and error checking built into WordPress, which are the kinds of things that you usually have to install packages into Sublime Text and Atom for. So that is a magnificent addition that will be included in like the custom HTML widget and everything that they've been putting in since 4.8. I'm mega excited for this. Again, it's nothing major. It's not going to change the way that many people use WordPress, but it's going to make the quality of life better for the people who are using it. They're also going to not let you in 4.9 that it will warn you when, as their patch notes said, WordPress 4.9 will politely warn you that this is a dangerous practice and will recommend that you draft and test changes before updating your file. And that is fantastic. Just wonderful, so that you don't really get that white screen of death nearly as often as maybe some of us have in the past. They've put in finally a new widget update for the gallery widget. We have a gallery widget in WordPress core for the first time. That in all of this time, you've always had to use a separate gallery widget like NextGen or something like that. It's built in now, you guys. I can take no credit for that, but you're welcome. You can press a button just to add media in text widgets, which is great. Those kind of things are awesome. Reliable theme switching. You can now preview themes a lot better. And that kind of stuff. I think that is just absolutely awesome. Better menu instructions. I talked about this last week, where they're just making menu creation easier, which is something it's needed for like the last 10, 15 years. It's wonderful. And like I said earlier, that the Gutenberg plugin gets its About page. Going through the very end of it, there's a lot of developer stuff in here too, but the library that they're using for the code highlights in the editing that you're doing for the updates and syntax is also available. It's an open source code editing library. You know, it's WordPress, so it's open source, but they've packaged it up so that any of you plugin developers are going to be able to use that in your own plugin. So it opens up a lot of possibilities for new plugins that allow you to see a lot of the stuff. So as they're working on it and customizations, like, it's just absolutely fantastic. I'm super excited about 4.9. I think I'm more excited about 4.9 than I am about 5.0. So that's saying a lot, because I love quality of life changes. I don't like big changes because I'm scared of how things are going to, change. I don't want my workflow to be altered that much, but I do really, really like the fact that they've made my current workflow and your current workflow just a lot better. Oh, excuse me for that. Let me see. That would be a fantastic thing, David. I do not speak Spanish, so I had to use Facebook's automatic translation on that. That would be a fantastic idea. I will definitely pass it along to the rest of the content team about other languages and translations in terms of streams. We do have a major international audience, and I think that it would be something to definitely look into. You do not want me trying to do anything in another language, but I do think that is something that we really should be paying attention to. So I apologize for that, but like I said, I don't speak anything but English with this accent, and nobody wants to hear Spanish in that. go into a comment that I saw in the Facebook or in the YouTube comments here about getting a response from Elegant Themes. While we don't have a live chat help desk necessarily, you can use our forums, and we do have a contact support live chat on our website that you can go in and ask and see if you can be directed. So if you want to go on there, Melissa, and give a shout out, I know that everyone works together and we want to give you the best experience possible. So just poke us on the website, post something on the forums. We get Slack notifications a lot when there are threads that need to be addressed. So if you don't mind, do that. And like I said, the live chat is on there. It is not quite a help desk, but you can definitely poke someone and see what happens there. It's not my team, so I can't say absolutely what the workflow is, one to the other for escalation, but those are the ones that I'm aware of that we tell people to go to. You're also welcome. Let me see. The next one that I was wanting to look at was, I did not put in the link for this, but I did want to talk to you about it because it's news. WordCamp US is coming up in just a couple of weeks. That this is the 17th of November that I am doing this today, and we are having a Divi Nation meetup in Nashville, Tennessee in 2 weeks at WordCamp US. If you want to join us, that would be absolutely fantastic. It's $40 for the weekend for the entire national WordCamp US conference. We're meeting at 7:30 a.m. on December 1st at 10 Cup Coffee in Nashville, Tennessee, so that we can meet you guys, hang out, and just hang out, get to know you guys, build the community, and see what's going on in your world. So come have a cup of coffee with us, hang out. We're going to be doing live streams throughout the conference, just really promoting Divi, the Divi Nation, and you guys more than anything else. So come see us there. Come see us at WordCamp US on December 1st through 3rd in Nashville, Tennessee. And like I said, you can go to meetup.com and check out the Divi Nation meetup that we're having at 10 Cup the first morning of WordCamp. There has been, for you guys who are using BBPress, an SQL injection issue, so you really need to update your WordPress to at least 4.8.3 and your BBPress plugins so that you don't have any kind of issues with people injecting your SQL databases. One thing that you really should look at is making sure that everything is up to date, and this one in particular was an exploit that came from allowing anonymous comments. So if you allow anonymous users to post things on your BBPress installs, check it out. You really need to make sure. It has been fixed, but it does take an update, so make sure you're on 4.8.3 at least for WordPress, and check out, make sure everything else is up to date as well. That said, for those of you just tuning in, this is This Week in WordPress. We go through tutorials, news, and resources that have been published this week in WordPress, as you can probably tell from the name of the show, that we think here at Elegant Themes that are worth you guys looking at and knowing about. And Torin, I don't know about WordCamp Europe. We are working through the next year's plan on a lot of things right now, planning out the 2018 roadmap, and we will definitely discuss. We have staff members in WordCamp, or we do have staff members in WordCamp, but we do have staff members in Europe. So if they're willing and able, and we'll see what we can do. No promises, but that is something to definitely look at because we have an international audience. We should get to know you. And I want to get to know you. So I'm getting to know you right now. That's awesome. Thank you for asking and seeing that. That would be fantastic. I've never been to Europe, so I'm excited. I would love to go to WordCamp Europe. Who knows if that's even remotely possible. But yeah, that would be great. It would be awesome. I lost my notes. That said, I'm about to move into the tutorial section of this, that I found stuff this week that was awesome, but I did want to point out, speaking of WordCamps, that Post Status by Brian Krogsgaard, the podcast and the membership site, the podcast specifically, did an interview this week with Matt Mullenweg. He is gearing up to give the State of the Word address at WordCamp US this year in just a couple of weeks, and he is basically doing a series of interviews across the WordPress ecosphere here that we can listen and see where things are leading up to for the state of the word. I haven't been able to listen to it myself, but Brian is a fantastic fella and does wonderful interviews and talks. You can go back a little bit on our Facebook page. I did a short interview with him at WordCamp Birmingham, Alabama a few weeks ago. If you want to go back and see that on Facebook, and if you want to go read or listen to the podcast interview with Matt that he did, the links are in the description of this post, of this stream. So moving into the tutorials, I wanted to absolutely speak about, speaking of WordPress, the art of speaking at a WordCamp. This is a how-to on giving a conference talk, and it was by Josh Pollock, who is speaking at a lot of different WordCamps. He organizes lots of things, and he is from Caldera Forums, and I think that the stuff that he brings up about talking at WordCamps is fantastic, are fantastic, and that it's something I wanted to really point out to you guys as a how-to, because a lot of people look at public speaking as being super terrifying, and it doesn't have to be. If I am absolutely terrified every time I get on here and have the camera going, but the main thing, and it's the same thing as giving a conference talk, and the main thing that Josh talks about here is relaxing. That just making sure that you're comfortable. What's up, Nicholas? Just relax, be happy, and that is what he's talking about. We're not professional speakers. I mean, I do this for my job, but it's not as though I'm Tony Robbins making the conference circuit. WordCamp speakers aren't either. You're normal people submitting proposals who want to talk about something that you care about. So when you do that, just relax and have fun with it. He talks about using stories to build connections, and this is something I find really important, is that coming from an educational background, coming from being a teacher, I think that it is incredibly important to look at how you engage with your audience, and just standing up there and telling them you're an expert on something and that they should listen to you is not enough. That you need to build up their confidence in you, and as a person, not so much an authority figure on this. While that expertise is important, it is that you can tell stories about yourself and your own, build up to where you got there, that makes a big difference for people. Talking about actually having things to share and knowing what you're going to talk about really is important. Going up and rambling and having just disparate slides that don't make any sense and flow, it's not a good talk. Nobody is going to get anything out of that, and you're not going to get anything out of that. So making sure that you are up to date and that you actually have a point to make is super important. You can go check out the rest of it on Torque Mag, and there's a link in the description to this, but I wanted to really point out Josh's WordCamp speech, not speech, but his speaking at WordCamp article, because it's great. Absolutely wonderful, and pretty much everything that everything that someone who is going to speak at a tech conference or conference in general needs to keep in mind as you're prepping. So one of the things that WP Lift put out this week was how to start a travel blog, and for the most part, the article is something that that everybody knows about. It's something where you get to, web hosting and domain names and getting the WordPress software and plugins and themes, all that. And I think it's super important for people to take a step back and look at what it actually takes to set up a website. I was recently talking with a friend about swapping from one host to another, one platform over to WordPress, and it's easy to forget about hosting and domain names. So I ended up setting her up an install on my hosting that I use, and it's just things like this that I hadn't even thought about migrating from a different platform. They do a really good job of breaking it down to where what they recommend, and they're great. They also mentioned Divi as a wonderful addition for travel blogs, which made me want to include this, but of course I'm biased. And also I think that it's important because we all wanted to bring up, because we published a stunning free Divi travel website layout pack a few weeks ago. There's a link in the notes to that as well, and it is beautiful. It was the first one of our new Divi design initiative, and I think that you guys would absolutely love it, especially if you're looking into travel blogs. I've looked into it myself. I love the idea of travel blogs, and it's I just wanted to point out that you can contact hotels and restaurants and let them know that you're a travel blogger, and that they do sometimes offer different rates for that if you're going to write and do features on them. So if that's something that you've wanted to do, keep that in mind and check out our new layout pack and WP Lift's tutorial on getting started. If you don't have a blog, you're looking at WordPress right now, it's everything that you need to get set up. It's great. For those of you who are just joining us, I do want to remind you that, or well, let you know, I can't remind you if you're just joining us, that this is the This Week in WordPress stream. We're in the middle of our tutorial section of stuff that was published this week that you may want to know how to do. So I saw this, and this one made me kind of giggle when I saw this one come out, because I've always thought about this, and it's about how to restrict the media library to only the user who uploaded that media. And when I started here at Elegant Themes and I started working on our back end, I really thought that it was just going to be me. And we open it up to everybody who to see all the media. And I bring that up specifically because they talk about why you would want to limit the media. And there are a lot of reasons that you would want to. But I love that I can see and use, and it's a very open community here that we have on the staff. But I was really surprised because restricting media access is huge. A lot of places it's just overwhelming when you have so many media items to have to sort through. So if you're a company and you want to keep everything compartmentalized so that people only see what they've uploaded, WP Beginner has both plugin recommendations for that, as well as the PHP that you need to add in your functions.php file. It's just a snippet. It's great. It's 12 lines long, so as long as you can go in there and go into and edit that, you're fine. You're good to go. Also, with that in mind, remember that 4.9 does have the code editing ability now, so that you see when something is messed up. So you shouldn't be as scared to mess with the PHP as you were before. I'm a big proponent of not using a plugin when you can do it by coding, and I think that this is an excellent addition in 4.9 to try and get used to PHP and editing those files. And this is a really good way to do it because it is easy to see the change that you make with this. So thank you WP Beginner, as always, for putting out fantastic tutorials just to do easy and simple things. I should say simple, it's quick. There's one step to doing it, but it's not easy if you don't know how. So this is how you get started with that. Additionally, I think that the 7spark.com put out an article on how to add a custom class to a WordPress menu item. So here's the thing, guys. This is built into the WordPress core already. This is something that you may not realize is actually in there. We use menu plugins all the time. We at Elegant Themes, we have when you use Divi, we have the menu that we can use and customize, and it is brilliant and wonderful, and I use it myself. But one thing that I do want you to know is that there is a way built in WordPress to add your own CSS classes to a menu. That they show how to do it under Appearance, Menu, Show Advanced, and then there's a check mark for that you can enable that is CSS classes to enable them, so that you can alter, the menu items, you can alter the fonts, the colors, the backgrounds, and you can add everything that you need to be able to target individual menu items that you don't need a plugin for. Like I said, these are things that I think are really important to know how to do in WordPress to really go from a themer into what a lot of people consider developers, although I'm the kind of person who looks like if you're developing WordPress sites for anybody, no matter what it is, you're a WordPress developer. But a lot of people see a huge distinction on that, and I wanted to point it out to you guys that these kinds of things are able to help you along that way. These are the kinds of things that I did when I was starting out, and over the last 10 years of using WordPress, that these are the kinds of small things that made it where I understood the software a lot better and how all of it worked. So just knowing that you can enter your own class names on menus is something that people may not know. So when they brought it up, it was like, oh, wow, I don't need a plugin for that. That's awesome. So now you don't need a plugin for that. That's awesome. Now go edit your menus and make them all pretty without using plugins. So that's something that I think you ought to know. And so moving into the resources section, I have talked really fast this week. So before I move into the resources section, I want to ask you guys, for those of you who are in the YouTube live chat right now, for those of you who are in the Facebook comments watching this, I want to let you guys know that I want to know what you're doing this week in WordPress. What did you do this week? What was it that you that you're proud of? Did you work on a particular project? Did you have a wonderful experience with a client? Do you have a frustration to vent about something that happened this week and no one else will understand other than the Divi Nation? Let us know. We are really, really excited to talk about this. My favorite part of this entire stream is talking with you guys in the comments, and my biggest thing about community is being able to root each other on. So if you have done something this week that you want to share that you think is awesome and want the entire Divi Nation to know about it, throw it in the comments. Let's talk. I want to see what's going on. Did you put out a tutorial or a resource or just design something super pretty? I want to see it. So put it in the comments, you guys. You made your first Divi page this week. That's awesome. Nicholas in the YouTube comments, in the YouTube live chat, made his first Divi page this week. That's fantastic. That makes my heart swell. That really does. Those are the kinds of things that I love to hear. I'm so happy for you. I hope it was as easy as it was when I made my first Divi page, when I discovered Divi and started playing with it and just messing with it and seeing what I could do. I hope that yours was a lot prettier than mine, because mine was hideous. I didn't know what, did not understand what I was doing with all the options that I had. Thank you, Melissa. Divi is the best. But I'm so excited about that, Nicholas. I hope that it was wonderful for you. And if you want to share it off, oh, well, yeah, I could totally see how the frustrations if you're getting when you're starting out. I have a friend, the one who I was talking about earlier, getting the site up for migration. She is working on just learning it. So we were messaging back and forth right before the stream here, where I was like, after this hour, I'll be available to be able to help you, and pointed her at a lot of our tutorials on the YouTube site. So I'm really glad that you were able to get the support that could help you well. And also, I would love to point out that if you are on your first Divi site, if you're like Nicholas, that I really think that you could get a lot of good out of our Divi use case videos. Every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we do a live stream video with a member of our content team that shows you how to use Divi and how to set up the new layout pack for that week. And even if you're not going to use that layout pack, I think it's a fantastic idea to tune in, because I've been using Divi for about a year now, and I'm still learning things from Jason and Donieto whenever they're doing everything that I can see things like, oh, I did not do that right the last time I did it. So check those out, Nicholas, too. The YouTube tutorials that Augustine puts out, and all of our live streams on Tuesdays are great. Also, the next live stream that we do is at 6 a.m. Eastern on Monday with Augustine Mack, and he's going to be going through the new Divi features that come out next week. So if you want to stay up on the game and just really hit the ground running, you guys can do that through you can do that on Monday morning, and those will also be on the YouTube site and Facebook if you're still asleep at that time, like people. So, yes, notifications. Let's see, Tobias is working on your first Divi sites at the moment. That's awesome. And 2 e-commerce sites? Oh, my goodness. You are a glutton for punishment, sir. They are not... that all at once, that's a lot to take on. So I think that's fantastic. Donyeda actually did a WooCommerce site this week with our live stream. So if you want to go back and check that out, you may get some stuff for the e-commerce stuff going on with WooCommerce if that's where you're going. So I'm excited for the Black Friday sale too, Vasu. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That we have some stuff coming up that I think you're really going to like leading up to Black Friday, that we're getting everything set up. So keep that in mind. Keep your mind on Black Friday, and soon we will be able to you'll see all of our Black Friday stuff that you're going to absolutely love. I'm going to pop over here and look at this. Andrew, let's see. Ever since the 4.9 update, certain pages I tried to edit send me to a product edit, and with product, this link shows proper product ID. Andrew, I cannot point you in the right direction, but I have 2 suggestions for this. I haven't seen this particular issue myself. First of all, let me point you at our support forums and the live chat on the website, that if you would like to be directed, they can point you in the right direction there. That's the first and main one that I always say. Support forums are fantastic for that. I would also like to ask, did you happen to update Divi first? Nick put out a video earlier this week addressing that I know that there were some issues with the 4.9, the way that they were changing things with the scheduling. So it could have come up from maybe not updating Divi and the Divi Builder before the 4.9 update on WordPress, and if that was the case, the support forums would be absolutely your best bet to figure that out, because like I said, I haven't run into that particular issue with the post IDs myself. And Helene, that an easy way to add icons in the top bar. What top bar do you mean? Like the Divi menu, or say the WordPress nav bar itself at the very top, the admin bar? Because we might have a tutorial on how to do the Divi bar if you check our YouTube archives. Switch back for just a second. Oh, good. You got a good client from Upwork. Oh, that's awesome, Charles. That is absolutely fantastic. And when you got them on both coasts and they're ready to go live next week, congratulations. Was it a Divi site? I'm really excited. Congratulations on that. Few issues with RTL Divi websites. Are you working towards fixing the issues? I don't know, Moses. That is a good question. Hopefully someone else who knows the answer to that will be able to answer it. I am terribly sorry. That is not in my wheelhouse. That is also potentially a support forum question just to see. That's great. And going back to Tobias in YouTube comments, mentioned font icons to add to the primary menu, and using those as a custom link, Helene. So you can try that as a custom link using font awesome icons. I've done that before as well and used it as CSS in there in the title myself. I had forgotten about that. So thank you, Tobias, for that. Yeah, the forums may be your best bet, Andrew, because that's the only solution I've seen lately that has had any kind of issues with things like the post IDs and the 4.9 update in particular, changing things up. So the support forums would be great. I'm sorry I can't help you on that one, but our support team is absolutely top notch, and they'll get you fixed, I promise. So moving into the resources here again, I cannot escape the preparing for these future updates, apparently, because the first one I wanted to talk about on here that I've marked is preparing WooCommerce for the arrival of Gutenberg. And while this is not necessarily telling you how to prepare WooCommerce yet, it is what they're looking at for WooCommerce. So this is really big for anyone who is running an e-commerce site, for someone who is building new e-commerce sites, like, oh my goodness, name is leaving me. I'm so sorry, Tobias, that you're working on. I would check out this link in the description about preparing WooCommerce on the arrival of Gutenberg, because it is showing you what they want, what they think Gutenberg and adding products and the blocks are going to work, how that's going to work. They're talking about getting everything together and how it's going to be a very complex process. So I love how they do this. I love getting these kinds of transparent updates and iterative updates as new updates come for different pieces of software, because this one, WooCommerce, is so big, it's so important to so many people that all of us are going to have to change the way that we do some things with the update and addition of Gutenberg. And so it's just good to know what's on their mind. So click through the link and see. They have a really cool GIF of what it might actually look like in Gutenberg, and I really like it. My favorite thing that I found this week, this is absolutely it. 4.9 came out, and that's all dandy. Y'all know I love it already. I think that the Smashing Magazine put in a mobile interface myths that you should throw out the window. And I love this because I'm still going to sites every day. Every single day, you guys, that look like they have been optimized for mobile from 2009. That they are on a website that was designed for the original iPhone, and you cannot do anything. That even when you request the desktop site to be able to use on your phone, that you still get redirected back to the mobile site, the horrible mobile non-responsive theme. So when Smashing Magazine put this out, I wanted to just like beat it into y'all's heads that we need to look at the way we approach mobile. That mobile first is here, that responsive themes are here. Divi is responsive, you guys, and you get different kind of styling options for every platform and every viewport size. But they have these myths that are like mobile users are in a hurry, and that's not necessarily true. Looking at data, they have data looking at average session durations and all of this kind of stuff. Mobile users spend a lot more time on your site than than you think. They're not. Yeah, we're easily distracted. I mean, occasionally we are, but long-form content on a phone is actually okay. Once you're producing content that is mobile optimized and web optimized, there are easy breaking points. I mean, if you're using the Yoast SEO plugin, you are looking at the green light readability, and it's not letting you put in enough words between headings that people can't break and not have a stopping point. So you need to get to know your real users and how they're using your site, that you cannot assume based on these 10-year-old predictions of how people will use the mobile web that that's actually how they're using it. It talks about how mobile websites require fewer features. I'd mentioned going and trying to use the desktop side on some places, and honestly, it's ridiculous, and I hate having to do that. You guys know as well as I do that you are using your phone, that you want to book tickets, that you want to rent a car, that you want to order a pizza, and if you have to go to your laptop or your desktop to do that, that there's a good chance you're not going to. Or maybe I'm just lazy and don't want to get off on my couch and my phone. That could be totally it. But mobile websites do not need fewer features. With JavaScript the way that it is now, the way that we're looking at different kind of viewport sizes and JavaScript libraries, and there's no reason not to have the same options and functionality that you would have on a desktop site available on your mobile site. I do love the idea that they show on here of how interstitials work with the pop-ups, that we don't want full page pop-ups on mobile, that when you have the entire screen taken up by a modal, by an interstitial, that you're just gonna navigate away. I do. You do. Everybody does. But if you have it at the lower third, much like you see on the stream here, if you look down, I think right here, you'll see like that's there, you see it, but it is not obtrusive and blocking you from content. It's talking about stuff like that. And they talk about how The simplicity, that the third myth is simplicity is good, complexity is bad. And that's a big old nope. Nope, 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 nope. And simplicity is good, don't get me wrong, but complexity is not bad. That's where it's wrong. That's where it's a myth. Because as long as you break it down into manageable steps, you can go through and your users are going to be fine with a complex system. You just need, as they say on here, one step per page. That when you're registering for an email, when you're buying a product, whatever you're doing, don't ask for everything on one mobile page where they have to scroll. Do it on multiple pages where you ask for their name and address, we ask for credit card number next, and just keep going through, but make it a transition and going through multiple different steps as opposed to all on one page, because that is simple. That is easy to use. Like, there is no way that one page, one function, that is not complicated. The complexity comes in the overall process, and that's okay to be complex because we're used to going through multiple pages. That's just the way that it is. And, it goes through a couple more I'm not going to touch on, but those are the ones that I really wanted to bring up to you guys because I think it's super important. Yes, Torin, if you go into the description of this video, that you will be able to click on the links that are on here right now. They're all available just in the description down below if you're on YouTube, and when it finishes uploading, they will be there as well on the new video, and then on Facebook, they're in the description of the live video that is saved. So please go click on everything. Give support to these wonderful people who are publishing this content. I think that's super important to build this community and let everyone know the good work that's being done out there to make all of our lives easier and better, like smashing mobile myths. So yeah, click on the link. It should be below you. If it's not, something went wrong, and if it's not, it will be there when the video gets uploaded. Move back over to Facebook to see a couple of things. Oh, yeah, people are helping. Awesome. You guys are great. I love you guys. Like, the fact that you're talking and helping each other in the comments right now, like, I'm so happy. Like, I just, like, boom, 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 boom. Like, it's just, like, swelling. It's almost the holidays, so I can say that my heart is, like, swelling 3 times, but I'm not a grouchy person. I'm not a Grinch anyway, but that's how you guys make me feel. You're helping each other in the comments, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Let me see. Nicholas says, I sometimes have a problem that when I try to visit page, the buttons are default, not as you styled them. Is that when you are in the builder itself that it does that, or is it when you go to the live site out of the builder, Nicholas? Get back to me as I move forward. For those of you who are just joining us, this is the This Week in WordPress live stream. I'm BJ, and I'm a content creator here at Elegant Themes, and I'm in the resources section of our show right now, where I've gone through and found news, tutorials, and resources that are just general WordPress links that I think are cool, so that you guys will have all sorts of really cool stuff to go through. And spend reading over your weekend that I've spent the week reading through for you. You can always see the links to everything that I have not talked about, because I can't get through all of it in the description to this video, so feel free to support that. And if you're tuning in late and you're just now joining in, you can check out the news and tutorials as well and see the cool links that are there. And thank you, Veronica. You're quite welcome. I would also like to let you guys know that this is not always me just talking at a camera and talking with you guys. I do have guests on here a lot. We've been working on new software, trying to get everything going for streaming, and I'm starting soonish. We're going to be getting back to soonish. You like that? We're going to be getting back to having guests every week and the stuff that they've had going on in WordPress and having it be more of a discussion. But I do think that I do want you guys to know that it can be even better when there are even more people on here. So be prepared and be ready to talk to way more members of the Divi Nation and members of the WordPress community at large. Also, one of the things I thought was really cool that Flywheel posted this week, and that is the final one. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, like this is the last one I listed, but it is not the least of which, last but not least. It is the best ways to invest your money to grow a freelance business. And I think this is something everyone should read, that obviously if you work, but if you work for yourself, if you freelance, even if you work from home, if you're a remote worker, I think it's super important to take a look at what you're investing in. Because, I mean, for instance, the first thing that they say on here is web presence. And if you're a member of a team already, if you are a staff member somewhere, if you work, whatever it is, and you publish anything out under your own name, you need to make sure that you've invested in a high-quality web presence. Because I will tell you guys, I did not realize how many people would be, like, contacting me about different things, that would be talking, like going to my website and seeing articles. Like, it really surprised me. And when I first started going to WordCamps, I had just transitioned into freelancing, like literally days before I went to my very first WordCamp. And I had a website built, and or actually I had business cards printed before I went to the WordCamp, before I built a website, and I had to throw something up, and I was embarrassed to give people my card. And now it's better. I like it now, but web presence is super important. Like, people will see that, and they see the quality of work that you do and who you are, so you need to invest in a good web presence. And it's something that you may not think is that important, but it super is. They talk about investing in advertising and equipment upgrades. I had to get a new computer when I went to freelance. It's a tax write-off because I use it solely for work. It's a good workspace. Like, that is how I know I'm at work as a remote worker. For those of you who do that, who have had problems with focus and motivation, the best advice that I ever got was, you have a work computer, you have a workspace, and you don't use it for anything else. No games, no web browsing, no messing around on Twitter, unless you're wasting time while you're working. Like, that is your work computer. And I have tried to install video games on this computer, and I don't like playing games on it because I feel like I am wasting my work time, even if I'm doing it at 9 o'clock at night. So equipment upgrades are super important to look at as investments for your business, because they increase productivity. New classes, coaching, stuff like this, professional development, outsourcing tasks to VAs and copywriters and editors, all sorts of stuff. Like, they have just a huge list of things that you might be able to pick something up on that would make your live streaming better, that would make your business better. I think that is incredibly important to look at just all of these different kinds of ways that you can spend just a little bit of extra money that have a huge return on investment, huge ROI. Tobias has asked on YouTube in the live chat that when investing in web presence, where do you get the most out of your money? Facebook ads, AdWords, other? And I think it entirely depends on your market, that who your target audience is. I've heard that Facebook ads are the absolute best, the be-all, end-all, and then I've tried them for my own stuff, and they don't work. I've tried Twitter ads, and they don't work. AdWords, and they work magnificently. It really does depend on what you're trying to sell and who you're trying to sell it to. They do sponsored Snapchat geo filters that you can have if there's going to be an event that you can purchase for advertising that way. So if you're targeting the younger, I hate saying the millennial demographic because I'm technically in there myself, but if you're targeting the younger Snapchat users and that demographic, then you might want to invest in something like that. There's a lot of research out there that if you search the web for, I don't know, it's just, that's kind of generic, search the web, but it will depend a lot on who you're trying to reach. I know that Elegant Themes, we have good results out of Facebook advertising, that it is a good market for the people who we want to target, who we want to bring into the community and target that way, because of the fantastic community that is sprung up around Divi and Elegant Themes and WordPress on Facebook. That there are Facebook groups for advanced WordPress, there's Divi Donuts, Divi Soupies, the Elegant Marketplace, there's all of these on there. So with the users browser's already built in there. Facebook works really well for our customers, where I don't think we're going to get that much a return on Snapchat filters for the Divi Nation outside of, say, meetups and that kind of stuff. But if you're a design agency and you're actually able to sell stuff through that way, you might look at Pinterest sellable pins that you have products with your designs on them that you can do, or buyable pins, where those kinds of investments might work for you, that you can get seen on Pinterest, because it is a gargantuan market with the right markets, that you can have so much traffic come through and earn so much money through Pinterest if you're in the right industry and you're targeting the right people. So like I said, I wish I could be a little more specific to you on that, but I do think the most important thing is making sure you know who you're selling to. Hi from Alabama, Lindley. Lindley. My thoughts on Amazon. What do you mean? Speak to me. I'm going to move forward just a little bit, but give me what you mean on Amazon in general. In terms of Amazon, I love it. I buy everything from Amazon. In terms of just let me know. I need to be more clear on that. See down here. Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking at the comments again, just making a quick check. So I only have just about 5 more minutes on here before I really need to get out of here and let you guys have the rest of your Friday afternoon to do all of the work that I know you're going to do in the last couple hours of your Friday. But the last thing I wanted to point out is a tutorial actually that I realized that I skipped over, that Wcus did on how to avoid malicious Cyber Monday campaigns. That this time of year, people are all over the internet. They're trying to get deals. They're trying to get cheap stuff, and people are going to try to scam you. People are going to try to phish you. People are going to try to hijack your browser, your website, steal your stuff. You're going to try buy something from a malicious e-commerce website, and Wcus has a huge post on what you need to look for not to have all of your information stolen and your money taken. Yes, your money taken. Apparently, I've been talking for entirely too long, but they talk about what you never need to click on, what you never need to install, what you need to look for in terms of legit sales, because there are some great sites. There are drop shipping sites out there that you can go through that find the best deals, and they're awesome, and you may have never heard of them before Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but there are also some that are super terrible and that are only out there to hurt you. And Wcus, like I said, did a great post on looking at what you can do to prevent that. One of the things is that I probably will be doing myself that I don't usually do, is that when I'm on a computer, installing a JavaScript blocker or ad blocker when I'm going to a site that I'm not aware of. As I flip around looking for cheap deals on a Garmin Forerunner 235 that I'm really wanting over Black Friday, I will be going all sorts of places, and I'm not going to be able to trust every one of them. So that's what I'm going to do. And I honestly took it from the Wcus blog. So check it out. It's really awesome. The people at Wcus are just great. They put out so much stuff that you need to look at it. So I'm going to go through the comments again right as I am about to sign off. It doesn't look like there is anything else in the Facebook comments at the moment, but in YouTube we have a huge discussion going on. Lindley was mentioning Amazon earlier before I had to move back, as she clarified. I wanted to point out the Amazon seller. Amazon selling is really awesome. I've known companies and had clients who do really, really well on there, and I've actually done really well on, let's say, using as an Amazon seller and as an Amazon self-published author, using their ads. The main thing that I suggest on when you're looking at Amazon selling and trying to get your stuff seen is really, really target your keywords. That Amazon is a search engine, that you may not not think about it that way, but the best advice that I ever got in terms of making the most out of Amazon and making the most money on my books was looking at what people are searching for. They have an autocomplete tool that is hugely based, as far as we're aware, on what people are searching for. So look and see what terms are around what you're selling and add those as tags, as keywords. And you've seen the really obnoxious, super long, like paragraph of text titles that some of these items have as from Amazon sellers. And I think that is pretty normal because of the way that the search works on Amazon. In terms of their CPM ads, it's the same way with targeted keywords, that if you do pay for any of the ad placement on there, make sure that you target specific keywords and that your bids are enough to actually get yourself seen. It's weird, but I've actually had the most luck out of selling my books and getting targeted on adjacent articles and other bestsellers. One of the things that I've seen is that when people would search for, and this is not what mine are specifically, but let's say if I had a horror book, I would go into the horror section, look and see what's selling, and then be able to list as a CPM target where people searching for the top sellers, that kind of thing. I have seen a lot of stuff talking about that. In terms of also making sure that if you're selling fireworks on Amazon, that you might look at different kinds of fireworks that are near yours, that or what they're used for. You might have summer sparklers or wedding sparklers or anything like that, using different kinds of keywords that way. But yeah, I think that Amazon as being a seller is really good if you know what you're doing, because I'm not great at Amazon. I'll be honest, I'm not great at it because I am not the best at SEM. I'm not really good at the keyword research, but from what I've seen, even with my limited skill set, I saw a return on it. So I think you can do really well with that. Good luck with that. So Divi Nation, I'm out of time. Thank you guys for joining in. Thank you guys for commenting. Thank you guys for helping each other. You guys, this is so fun for me to see you guys talking and helping each other. I would like to point out, for those of you who are watching right now, the live chat on YouTube will go away whenever this stream ends. They're not saved as comments. So as you guys are talking, if you would like to continue, this video will be on YouTube and there will be a comment section on it. So feel free to continue the discussion in there so that people will be able to see and still get help from you guys who are discussing and help. On Facebook, the comments will stay there as well, and more comments can be added. So you guys, thank you so much. Make sure that you check out the links in all of the descriptions on Facebook and on YouTube, so that you can give some love to the people who are putting out all of these absolutely fantastic tutorials, news, and resources. I do this every Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you guys for joining in. Join me next week, and keep in mind, you guys, let me know what you're doing next week in WordPress. Actually, we won't be here next week for This Week in WordPress. I won't be. It is the American Thanksgiving holiday, so I won't be doing that, but I will be back. And the next week is WordCamp US, so I may not be here, but I'll be around. And you guys, also, the next live stream is Augustine Mack doing a Divi feature, new feature update on Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. And we will hopefully see you then.